Okay, today we are playing a game on Route 66. We are in the Platinum SR range, and we will be playing Reinhardt and Orisa on defense and Winston on attack. Special guest star, the cat, is here today, at least for now, because he never likes to be here when I'm talking. But he's decided he wants to be here right now. Current team composition, don't particularly care because I've procrastinated too long and I'm behind schedule. There's no good reason for being behind schedule, I'm just a lazy bum. The only thing that was really of note, I think, was Orisa Roadhog, Hanzo Soldier, Mercy Anna. So the only thing really of note is we've got two main healers, which means we don't have a Zenyatta as one of our healers, which is a shame because that means we don't get to have Transcendence, and Transcendence is a pretty big deal. Anna should change to Zenyatta, really. So he's thinking about leaving right now. There he goes. I hope everyone enjoyed seeing the cat. Well, what are you doing? There he goes. His Majesty is too good to actually jump, even though he's a fucking cat. So, yeah. No Zenyatta. Very sad. Move the keyboard down here so you don't hear me slapping it every 2 seconds. Cat was in the way, couldn't do it. Yep, there we go. Look at that. Oh, he's so good at remembering things. So, yeah, no Zenyatta is sad. Not much else to say about it beyond that, really. We've got a Hanzo, that's the important thing. So we learned quite quickly... Oh, wait. Our friend today actually wanted his name called, shouted out, and it was Skok Trooper. Like, because I had initially thought it was Shock Trooper, but the C and H are in the wrong place, so he specifically wanted to be shouted out. So there you go, Skok Trooper, if that's how you say the name. I assume it is. I don't know. Could just be showing my ignorance. Who cares? We've also got Uwu on our team, by the way, but the Uwu has umlauts over the name, so I guess it's like Uwu, because it like raises the sound, I think. Could just be showing my ignorance again. So we learned they've got a dive comp. What am I talking about? Jesus Christ, it's gonna be one of those videos. So there's not much point to using Fortify when only Winston is jumping on you, because Winston, you've already got armor. He isn't going to do overly much. D.Va is trying to kill people behind us as well, because D.Va jumped him. But basically, we don't have much recourse other than to just shoot at them and kill them before they kill our team. But there isn't much point to using Fortify on a Winston, because Winston's already not going to do much damage to you, because armor already kind of fucks over Winston. So we have jumped down here now, and the thing is, with jumping off the high ground as Orisa, is you've got to really want it. Like, Orisa's a pretty slow girl. Once you jump off the high ground, you are committed to being on the low ground at that point. And we don't really need to jump down yet. There's still all the way over there at the moment. We can let Roadhog come down here and deal with it instead, because we as Orisa would much rather hang out on the high ground, and then because we jump down largely by ourselves, we end up just kind of getting murdered. Could have just been more patient, let Roadhog go down there and deal it. Could have just hung out on the high ground until the payload got a little bit closer. Some of our team was regrouping also, because some of them got killed during the initial dive, so we could have just waited for them. But jumping down into them was a very brazen move that was met with us getting killed. The thing is with Orisa is that you've got to be pretty confident with your positioning, because, or competent, I should say, perhaps, because, as soon as you are too far up as Orisa, you're basically fucking dead. Because that's how you kill Orisa. You crowd up on her, you get in her face, and you fucking kill her. So if you go too far up relative to the rest of your team or the enemy team, they can just kinda roll right over you and kill you, and there isn't much you can do about it as Orisa. Orisa is the hero, or is the tank, I should say, most punished by positioning poorly, because she just doesn't really have many ways to get out of it. Even Roadhog is better at getting out, because Take a Breather is just really strong. So they're coming back, they've got several ultimates. Primal Rage is happening behind us right now. This dragon's a little bit high off the ground. Just a little bit high off the ground. You could crouch under that dragon and avoid it. We've got the bongo built up, so we want to slap that down as soon as possible. We've lost both of our healers in this fight, though, so really, at this point, it's not worth it anymore, because we've lost both our healers, and they're starting to crowd up on us. We've lost 2 of our DPS as well. At this point, there's no point using the Bongo, because the only ones still alive are us and Roadhog. So there's no longer any point. The Bongo is an ultimate that you want to use as early in the fight as possible, because you want as many of your team to benefit from it as possible. It's a support ultimate, basically, even though we're a tank. We want as many people to benefit from the damage boost as possible, and preferably as many people to use their ultimate as possible. So if we just put it down like now, everybody on our team is still alive except Moira. By the time we decide to put it down, only 2 people are still alive. No longer worth it, especially since both the DPS are dead. The Bongo is predominantly for the DPS to actually use, because they're the ones that are going to do the most damage, startlingly enough. So we just end up wasting the Bongo, which is unfortunate. Not exactly a game-winning or losing ultimate, but still sad to use it for no reason. So they've still got a pretty divey comp. I'd considered changing off Orisa at this point, just because Orisa isn't great at dealing with a dive comp. I mean, but who would I change to, I suppose, at the end of the day? D.Va's pretty good, Winston's pretty good, because we've got to try and deal with Genji and Pharah, as well as the divers. Reinhardt is, like, better against the dive comp than people will tell you he is. People will tell you he gets countered by dive comps, but that is not true. People are just bad. Startlingly enough, people who play Overwatch, quite bad. Don't worry, that also includes me. Overwatch is not a game about who is better, it's a game about who is less boosted. So Winston's jumping in like miles ahead of his team right now and accomplished nothing other than dying quickly. We are, again, committed to being on the low ground now, but we do have to actually start trying to contest the payload, reposition the shield so that it blocks the self-destruct. Unfortunately, though, we are about to start getting rolled over, because Genji's just used Dragon Blade. There's not a whole lot we can do about that one. They're still pushing up behind us. All these people are over here. There's just not really a good solution to this problem for Orisa. So now we decide to change to Reinhardt. So this is the thing with Orisa. This is why I don't think Orisa is a very good main tank, right? People tell you she's a main tank. I don't buy it. Because, like, when that kind of thing happens, there's just nothing you can really do about it as Orisa. And yeah, the same thing can end up happening to Reinhardt, but Reinhardt's a bigger, beefier boy than Orisa is. Like, Reinhardt, his shield can be moved around more freely, and he can just beat people when they're on top of him, like Genji. So, conveniently, they're not pushing the payload right now. The people that run dive comps have a tendency to get too excited and leave the payload behind. So we are now trying to beat people to death, but Pharah's just used Barrage and killed both our healers, so we kind of get fucked in that regard. And there's not a lot you do about that one as Reinhardt. D.Va is pretty good against their comp just because they have a Pharah, and D.Va can fight divers as well. But it's the kind of situation that's difficult to deal with as a tank, because no tank is, like, fantastic against the dive comp. The best one is really, like, Roadhog. But no tank has a fantastic time when the enemy team is running a dive comp. We'll see how Hammond shakes out. By the way, if y'all could stop calling Hammond Wrecking Ball, I'd be very appreciative of it, because calling him Wrecking Ball is fucking stupid. It'd be like if we called D.Va Mecha. It's stupid. I hate that people are calling him Wrecking Ball. I know that's what Blizzard called him. But also, Blizzard said Symmetra was in support for 2 fucking years, and they were just as wrong then as they are now, so... Anyway. So, we blocked the self-destruct. I think we could have just gotten out of the way at this point. No, probably not. You don't want to block the self-destruct if you can all avoid it. Moira's got her ultimate again. Coalescence is that way. Got a Pharah floating around over here, but she's decided to come down to ground level, so we get to just beat her to death. Very obliging of her. Appreciate that. So we've almost got Earth Shatter built up already. That's cool. Very easy map to Earth Shatter people on because it's kind of a very long tunnel. Not presently really worth it to use it because we've probably already won this fight. Farah's already dead. Winston gets beaten to death here, so they're already down 2 people. We only end up really hitting... Oh no, we hit Mercy as well. She was trying to res the Winston, so there's that, I guess. It's not the greatest Earth Shatter in the world. We also can't really, like, capitalize on it from this position because we're too far back from it. Because we, basically it interrupts Mercy's res, and that's the most it accomplishes, but I'm not super stoked about that, because we don't actually get to, like, kill anybody off of it. The idea of using Earth Shatter is kind of that once we've used it, we get to go in and beat a bunch of people to death, and there's not a lot they can do about it because they're on the ground. Using it just to, like, interrupt an ability and hit one other person is pretty weak. Builds up pretty quick, so, you know, there's that, but I'm not super stoked about using it that way. So, Genji just, like, went way in right there. I'm pretty sure we could have hit him right there. Yeah, like, if we just, like, jump up these boxes, we can get a swing in on the Genji at the very least, but by the time we kind of mess up jumping up the boxes anyway... Very unfortunate stacking of support ultimates we've got going on right now. What prompted Zenyatta to do this? And what made him feel like he had to do that? I guess because their Moira used her ultimate? It's a pretty weak use of Transcendence. Their Genji did just use Dragon Blade, so it's not like he can use that in the near future, but... that wasn't a great use of Transcendence. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. So, anyway, doesn't end up actually mattering very much. We just kind of beat them off. And at this point, this is like the point where the dive comp gets hard to use on this map. Because everybody's kind of just stacked on top of each other. We're way too far out. Whoa. No. Push up into her face. Because this is my favorite thing to do in this video game ever. When the Pharah's using Barrage like that, just walk towards her right now and have her kill herself on your barrier. In the end, you'll die still regardless, but I mean, we're not getting out of that situation alive regardless. We might as well just embarrass Pharah at the same time. We went out way too far, though. We should not have gone that far out. Just general lesson for life. Don't go outside the choke point as the main tank. Or as most people. If you're not a flanker, try to avoid going out of the choke point when you're defending. So we've almost got self-destruct built up again. D.Va's crowding in on our team back here, trying to kill McCree because he's using Deadeye. I would like if we attempt to put our shield in front of the McCree right here, because he's really low health, and I would like if we block, just like stand next to him and block for a second until he gets healed a little bit, seeing as he did almost die, and just like a stray bullet's gonna kill him, but it ends up not mattering. He was really far back at the same time, and D.Va started to lose her mech, so it was gonna be a hard one for them to pull off, but... it's not, like, I'd rather just take the half second to block for him until he gets healed, rather than risking him getting hit by a stray bullet and dying. Because if you lose one person while you're defending, it tends to get a lot harder to defend at that point. So we've got Earth Shatter built up right now. They've only got one fight left in them at this point, and this is an easy map to Earth Shatter people on because it's just a straight line corridor. Now... that being said, though, Earth Shatter's a fucking busted ultimate, and all kinds of things can interrupt line of sight, and there's a lot of detritus in the map around you that can kind of mess it up, so... Earth Shatter's kind of fucked up like that. So, we do manage to slip past the Reinhardt for this Earth Shatter, which is great if at all possible, but Zarya still has her bubble up, so that ends up not working out super well. Zenyatta's using his Transcendence way early again. Did we have our charge up? No, we did not. There's a thing inside, in the way of the fucking cooldown. Let me move it out of the way. So we got pinned, which is unfortunate. We could not have countercharged it. Yeah, basically, like, you've got to be patient when using Earth Shatter. It basically looked like we were like, I can push past Reinhardt and use Earth Shatter, and I'll hit them because I pushed past him. The other tanks can also still block Earth Shatter, so you have to be aware of that. Zarya's probably like the second most consistent hero for blocking Earth Shatter after Reinhardt. Maybe even the most consistent, given that the glitch where it goes under the enemy's Reinhardt's shield is happening more and more lately. And no, before you ask, I'm not salty because I've gotten Earth Shattered about it. I'm more salty when it happens to the other Reinhardt, because there have been so many times lately where I've Earth Shattered and I've been like, fuck, he blocked it, and then I've just watched his team fall down anyway, and I've been like, I didn't deserve that. He got it, he blocked it, he earned that block, and then what happened? He just got fucked anyway. That upsets me more than when I get Earth Shattered, because at least when I get Earth Shattered, I just go, fucking Blizzard. But when I Earth Shatter the other Reinhardt through his barrier, I'm like, I stole that from him. He didn't deserve that, and I stole it anyway. It makes me feel like I cheated, even though I didn't actually do anything myself. Yeah, so you gotta be careful when Zarya is around, because she is also quite consistent at blocking Earth Shatter. The bubble is pretty good. Zarya as a hero is pretty good, as it turns out. So we're playing Winston now. We're jumping up here to do this. We do jump up here while we have the Discord orb on us, so that's not great. Just kind of like wait before jumping in when you've got the Discord orb on you. I know we want to get up there and get diving as quickly as possible, but diving in with the Discord orb on you, it's just like you can so easily just get immediately exploded when you jump in, kind of like that. Just wait. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just wait the extra couple of seconds to get the Discord orb off of you first. Winston's already, like, pretty soft as far as tanks go. You don't want to make it easier for him to kill you by jumping in when you got the Discord orb on you. Especially since you, as Winston, you're already, like, a priority Discord target. So you don't need to make it easier for him. So, you know, there's not a lot of time left on this video, so the question is, do you think we wreck him or do you think we get held? You might be getting a slight inclination based off of how this first checkpoint has been going, that we probably don't get wrecked, seeing as we've already captured the first checkpoint. So, they'll all be out here because they did not come back and stagger themselves on this checkpoint, as teams are so very prone to doing on Route 66. That's why the second checkpoint tends to be pretty easy to capture, is that the defending team will stagger themselves on that first checkpoint so hard, being like, I can touch that payload. Yeah, you can touch the payload, but what were you going to do after you touched it? Well, I don't really think that far ahead, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, I could tell. So, we've just lost Tracer and we just lost Mercy. Good job, Hanzo. Got 2 headshots. We now see they have a Reaper, so that's pretty scary for us. D.Va does a good job of blocking him with Defense Matrix. And now we slide away back through the tunnel. So, their team now has gotten rather difficult to play a dive composition against, because, first off, Reaper, you know, that's already unfortunate for us as Winston. But also, we're not really that good at killing Hanzo anyway, because Hanzo can just lunge away or fight you with Storm Arrow, especially if Zenyatta's got Discord on you as well. So at that point you think, well, all we can really do is dive on the 2 supports. But they'll probably be, like, close to the rest of their team. So it's gotten pretty difficult to play Winston versus their team now, just because there aren't that many good targets for us, and we have to actively avoid Reaper as much as possible, which kind of makes it more difficult. We are really close to having Primal Rage, so fair enough to stay to use that, but I would probably change after using that. We do manage to jump on the Hanzo, who's largely off by himself. We tried to push Mercy away from Hanzo while she was rezzing, but didn't quite manage to do it, unfortunately. I assume that's why we used Primal Rage anyway. Didn't work out. I respect the attempt, unfortunate. So we just hide in the bubble as long as we can, and we jump away. Delightful. So even though their team comp is hard to play a dive comp against, we did manage to jump on Hanzo, who kind of like segregated himself from the rest of his team, and we just kind of managed to burst him down. And then the rest of our team was winning over in the other area as well. We do know they have a Reaper, so we want to be real careful jumping up there, just in case we end up landing directly on Reaper. Oh no, now they have a Baguette as well, so now their team has gotten even less friendly for a dive comp. Which still looks a lot like we're going to capture this checkpoint, you know. They lost their off-tank and their main healer immediately upon this fight beginning, basically. So we get to just capture this checkpoint as well. Hooray! This is the thing with playing Overwatch, is that if when you're defending and it goes on for that long, it can end up feeling like the game is pretty close, but then turns out it doesn't really matter how well you defend. All that really matters is how well you attack. Because we didn't really do a great job of defending, right? It was like the third checkpoint they started to stall out. But we're doing a much better job at attacking, and that's all that really matters. Or they're doing a much worse job at defending than we are. I guess it's a matter of perspective, isn't it? So we got Transcendence going in the Graviton, so there's no way we're going to die in here. Wait to use the Primal Rage, because it doesn't, like, we're gonna survive. We don't die in that Graviton because Transcendence is happening behind us, so there's not really much point to using Primal Rage while we're still inside it. We get to use it once we pop out again, but, like, we just waste a little bit of the duration waiting to get out of the Graviton, which we could have saved. So, even though, like, they even have a Baguette now, but they're just really bad at defending is the crux of the issue. Yep, Dragon on the left side, they're coming out the right side, they're not going to make it here in time. Oh no, so sad, tragic for them. Yeah, Skok Trooper. Right? Like, that definitely says Skok Trooper, I'm sure. Was it a typo on Shock Trooper, though? Because it is literally just switch the C and the H around and it's Shock Trooper. Whatever, anyway, it doesn't really matter that much. I can't think of a big recurring issue that kept happening. Probably the biggest one is just, like, positioning really far up as Orisa, which is scary to do in general as Orisa, but particularly when you're playing against a dive comp, because they can so quickly get on top of you and just, like, push your shit in, which is Orisa's main weakness, which is why I don't think she's a very good main tank. I think she's a better off tank, but people have wanted to fight me on that one for months at this point. You can fight me if you want. You can meet me in the fucking pit and we'll fight about it. Orisa's a better off tank than main tank. She just doesn't have the presence of a main tank. Yeah, can't think of a big recurring issue. We talked about a bunch of stuff as it went by, though, so hooray. Great job, team. Thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. And I hope you found the video helpful.